Thank you very much, Michelle. I'd like to thank, first of all, the opportunity to be here and present to all of you. My name is Bart. I'm one of the co-founders of Uzupay, Anytime, Anywhere. And we are building the next generation of peer-to-peer payments. To start off, both Luis and myself are very passionate about fintech, and we've identified a very clear problem within the ecosystem of fintech nowadays, is millennials prefer peer-to-peer payments via social networks. I can see, looking at the audience, that there aren't many millennials present. That's why everybody's looking at me and other big thumbs. But if you have children, or if you engage with millennials regularly, you know that they can spend most of their time, we spend most of their time in this sort of context. And this brings you to the problem part in three ways. So, as I said before, millennials spend most of the time, their communication is dominated by the social networks and by instant messaging apps, which means that the banking apps, by not being up to date to this reality, are losing the peer-to-peer market to the big players in social networks, simply because it's not easy to transfer money between bank accounts. I imagine that pretty much everywhere. I'll talk about, specifically here in the UK, if you ever organize a dinner or a barbecue, it's very common. Getting paid for the barbecue, the logistics for it, it's usually a big challenge among people. So what we offer is a solution based on four premises. An integrated platform that, first of all, is cross-social, meaning that it gives the flexibility to communicate in any social network or instant messaging app in existence nowadays. It's millennial-centric, meaning that it's been built based on our study of the millennial behavior in terms of user interface, user experience, how millennials like to use things. Thirdly, it's very practical, meaning that it's not just an app that's just based on the phone. It's a platform, can be used on any connected device at any time. And fourthly, not definitely the least, it's independent. Unlike Apple Pay or Android Pay, it can run on any operating system, giving further emphasis on the flexibility of our platform. So in terms of markets, Forrester estimates that nowadays the European market is $14 billion in size, and is looking to grow almost twice that amount in 3 years. And if we take a look at the numbers of what we are addressing here, I just want you to bear in mind in this slide that these are not revenue streams, these are transaction volumes. We just recently heard, for example, Venmo is reaching almost $20 billion this year. If we take a look at the UK, for example, there are a total of 16 million millennials, which will give us a target users of 160k people, which in terms of money being transferred around, it will generate approximately 1% share, $4.5 million. Obviously, we're not the only ones who spotted this opportunity. Most of the big players within the social networks and social platforms have taken notice. They are all moving to this market. We know, for example, in the United States that Venmo and Facebook are already testing their own system for peer-to-peer payments, Snapcash and through the Facebook messaging app. WeChat has already, WhatsApp has already demonstrated interest in addressing this market. And we know the WeChat, which was mentioned before, it's already a big player in Asia. So how do we differentiate ourselves from our competition? We chose to see it in a contextual way. So we have a little bit of the ecosystem that exists around payments, and we've divided ourselves between the contextual and non-contextual. Take into consideration the platforms that are contextual and would be our direct competition. We've identified 4 big players, and the main difference between us and them is that, first of all, we are not confined to just an app, unlike most of our other competition. And secondly, we are completely independent of any social network or messaging app in existence. Unlike our competition, who wants to focus on their own networks and create their own unique communities. So our product, we're just finishing the prototype right now. We are planning to launch on June of 2017. We are passing on to the second stage of intelligence. So we finished the core modules, the peer-to-peer payment system, the currency, wallets, all the compliance, PCI issues, anti-money laundering, and we'll be adding the second part, which is the juice or the special sauce of our product, which is the intelligence part. So we're talking predictive analytics, blockchain integration, etc. And how do we make money? Money making is the core business, the basics of any business. And right now, in our launch, we will be taking two forms of revenues: a commission on currency exchanges and a percentage fee on all transactions that are outbound. So we want to make it easy for the money to come into the system, but difficult to come out. Our strategy is pretty much the common nowadays in the lead approach. We have our own playbook where we add brand awareness stage, which is where we currently at. Before the lead approach, where we want to create a correlation between Uzupay and mobile payments, Uzupay fintech. So when we then launch and start on the acquisition phase, there's already a brand awareness that will ease up the process and turn it into a lesser cost. These two pretty faces are the ones behind the team. You got Uzupay, who's also here. He's a co-founder, serial entrepreneur, extensive technical background and in financial services as well. I got myself with 4 years experience in growth marketing, specifically within the startup environment, and have already collaborated with Wiz on several other projects. So essentially, we're building now the MVP, and this our objective will be to launch on June next year. So the key investment areas are marketing, technology, team, and operations. Also FCA licensing. We're still studying which one we will get based on what we're developing. And that's it. Thank you very much for your attention.